Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, dear students. So, as in the previous lecture, we discussed about the whole story of the novel To Serve with Love. We discussed about the summary, the whole story, and the whole plot and everything we discussed in detail in the previous lecture. Now, in this lecture, we are going to deal with brainstorming activities. Okay, so basically, the brainstorming activities have been divided into different sections based on plot, based on theme, characters, etc. So, in today's lecture, we are going to deal with the character part, means the questions which is based on the characters, so that we will get clear about that what are the different characters and what they have done, these all the details we will be getting the details about in this lecture particular one. So the very first one that we have to deal with is which one among the following is a teacher in the extract. So basically what we have to do is we have to find out, there are four options given, okay, and from these four, who is the teacher? That's what we have to identify. So basically, who is the teacher in the question is Del Evans, okay, and now we will be talking about who exactly the Del Evans and how exactly the character have been discussed in the novel. So basically, Mrs. Del Evans is a teacher, okay, in the whole extract, and then even there is a proof that how do we know that that Del Evans is a teacher. So there is a proof of that in the extract. Denham called two children at random from the audience and asked them to write the name of each teacher, including the head, on a slip of paper. Tell us that the slip of the paper contained the names of teachers. The lines, the names were called Mr. Del Evans. So basically, what the thing is, when the student had been called on the stage to write the name of a teacher, so one of the student had written the name of the teacher Del Evans. So from there we gets to know that yes, Del Evans is a teacher. Okay, now moving towards another question. Complete the table highlighting the various traits of the major characters. Now we have to highlight the major traits of the characters. Okay, so what are the characters that we have to talk here is Denham, Miss Phillips, Furman, and Potter. Okay, so now when we talk about Denham, so Denham is very confident, influential, fearless, determined, athletic, and clever. Basically, Denham was the one who talked about the PT subject, that why it is not given that much importance, in the school, and why do we only have two period of PT in the whole week. So that's how he comes to know that he is a confident one, influential, and he's a fearless. Obviously, if someone is talking in front of so many teachers and students, basically the whole student council were there and everyone, then too he gathered that much courage to speak in front of everyone, and that shows that his interest in athletics and how clever he was, everything. And then Fernman, when we talk about the another person, another student, so he was funny, strategic, dramatic, resourceful, innovative, confident, clever, and charming. And then there is another character, Potter. So the Potter was analytical, intelligent, insightful, and wise at the same time. Okay, now moving towards another question, the another activity. The narrator played a crucial role in the bringing a significant change in the student's life. Explain the statement by citing some references from the extract. So basically, obviously, we have, as we discussed in the previous lecture, that the narrator have played a very important role in the student's life to bring changes in them, to bring the positive changes in them. We have already seen how the students were, they were the troublemaker students, but then how they changed into the positive way. So that's what, the effect of the narrator, That's what we are going to see. So we have to give the reference of the extract. So basically, when Brithwaite takes his place as a teacher for the senior class of Green Slate School, he is met with a bunch of disrespectful, arrogant, and ill mannered students. Though initially resolved to take a different approach to teaching, one of the most important aspects of this new approach is mutual respect. Braithwaite understands that students can only learn something valuable in their courses if they respect the teacher teaching them. So obviously that's we already discussed in the previous lecture, right? That how he started teaching and got and felt disrespected from the student side. Then what he realized that if he want respect, he need to give it to the students, then only he can get it in return. And that's what the thing he applied for, to teach in a proper method and to get even to gain respect from the students. So then later what he is saying here, once the students responded to his new methods and began to open up to him, it becomes easier for him to get them interested in their courses and they become good students. The half yearly report proves to be the perfect chance to analyze the progress of the students. So basically, when he started teaching in a different way, he started feeling, that he is getting open up with the students, and now even they are feeling open up and like, feeling like they can talk anything or like learn freely with that, So that's what they felt when the teacher got changed his attitude a bit, or like, try to turn into a different way. Then students also started feeling a bit comfortable with the teacher. And then when the half yearly report had been presented, so that was a perfect time to analyze that how much improvement they have done. Now the lines, it was entirely their day, arranged, presented, and controlled by them, is an example of their will to take responsibility. The narrator notes that on the day of the report, the children arrived smartly dressed and polished. So basically, what do we come to know through all these? That they have learned a lot, and especially by whom? By the narrator. Okay, so now moving towards another activity, Furman brought the comic relief in the Students' Council program. Explain. So basically, we have to prove, or we have to explain that how the Furman brought the comic relief in the Students' Council program. So, a comic relief is a character or element that provides humor in a serious situation. The half yearly report organized by the Students' Council was a day of great importance for the students and teachers of Green Slate School. The students were assigned roles and responsibilities and they took their jobs seriously. When it was time for the senior class to present their reports, Miss Joseph introduced the theme of the class report by stating that the lessons had focused on the importance of the brotherhood of the mankind and and independency among world nations. These were serious and heavy topics. One by one, Potter, Sapiano, Jackson, and Miss Pegg presented the reports on their respective subjects and displayed a deep understanding of their lessons. When it was time for Furman to present his report on physiology, he signaled Welsh and Ellison to carry a skeleton to the stage. The sudden shift of the atmosphere from the serious analytical presentation of his classmates to the image of Furman on stage next to a skeleton hanging from a hook screwed into the top of its skull and gently revolving at the end of the cord immediately made the audience laugh. Through the dramatic presentation, Furman was able to relieve the tension of the audience by providing a comical elements. Thus, he brought comic relief in the Students' Council program. Now, moving towards another question. So, what is another activity that we have to do? Give a brief character sketch of a denim, Miss Joseph, the narrator, Miss Dare, Miss Phillips. These are the 5 characters of which we have to give a brief character sketch. So first we'll deal with the Denham. So basically Denham is one of the boys in Braithwaite's class, like all others. He too is initially dismissive of Braithwaite and is rude and disrespectful towards him. He is particularly aggressive and bad tempered. Braithwaite's patience and tolerance transform Denham into a mature young man who learns to be respectful of others and takes up responsibility. This can be seen from his ability to host the students' council report and supervise its proceedings while hosting the students' council event. He refers to the other senior girls as Miss, providing that he has transformed into an honorable young man. He is a trained boxer and enjoys athletic activities. He is a natural leader who enjoys influence over his classmates and is especially looked up to by the other boys of the class. This is made clear from the support he receives from his criticism of the PT class when the other boys cheer him from the audience. He is assertive and confident as he presents his report and is blunt, but respectful in his questioning of the need for the PT class. In his exchange with Miss Phillips, Denham is not only clever and assertive, but also determined in his argument, even though Miss Phillips represents an authoritative figure. So that's how the character of Denham represents. Now moving towards another character, Miss Joseph. So basically, who is Miss Joseph is one of the senior girls in Braithwaite's class. Okay, a natural leader, Miss Joseph, along with Denham, in charge of the hosting the half-yearly report of the Students' Council. Besides helping in the organization of the event, Miss Joseph also ensures its smooth functioning by supervising the other students as they perform their assigned task, thus displaying her leadership skills. She also delivers a short address outlining the purpose of the Students' Council activities. So, this is a brief sketch of Miss Joseph. Now, moving towards the another character, the narrator. So, the narrator already we have discussed a lot, right? But still, I would like to tell you more in detail. The narrator of the novel is the author, E.R. Braithwaite himself. The novel is based on his life experiences, which particularly focuses on his life in England and his job as a teacher at Greenslade School after the Second World War. Before becoming a teacher, he worked as an engineer and even served in the Royal British Air Force during the war. Though he is a British, he is a victim of racial discrimination and prejudices because he is a black man. In post war England, because of his race, he has trouble finding employment and reluctantly takes up the post of a teacher at Greenslade School, located in East End of London. The school is famous for its badly behaved students, and from the first day, Braithwaite finds it difficult to manage his class full of unruly children. As someone who is easily angered, Braithwaite struggles to keep calm while dealing with them. Despite not a teacher by profession, Braithwaite is very insightful in his interactions with the students. He recognizes that he lacks the experience of a professional teacher and takes extra effort to improve his teaching skills. He soon learns to be patient and compassionate towards the students and eventually manages to build a strong bond with them based on mutual respect. He even tries to learn about their backgrounds so as to be able to understand the reason for their behavior. Braithwaite is firm but caring and brings about an extraordinary transformation in his students. He is a perfect example of a good teacher, as his influence was way beyond the classroom, and he ends up making a huge difference in his students' lives. He is intelligent and sensitive and shows genuine concern for the well-being of his students by not giving up on his students. Braithwaite shows resilience and confidence in his abilities and reaps the rewards of his hard work as he watches with pride the young adults that graduate from his class at the end of the year. Okay, so this is how the whole sketch of the narrator that we have come across. Now moving towards another character, that is Miss Dare. Miss Pamela Dare is one of the senior girls in Braithwaite's class. Okay, on the day of half yearly report, she is chosen to be present on the subject of physiology along with her classmate Furman. Well, Furman displays a sense of the dramatic and is humorous in his presence. Miss Dare's presentation is straightforward but insightful because of his over the top performance. Furman manages to steal the show with his presentation. With Miss Dare's report lacking any such dramatic elements, she is aware that as she delivers her report after Furman, she may not receive the same amount of attention from the audience, but nevertheless, proceeds to present her report with confidence. She outlines the problems that all humanity has to face in terms of sickness and disease and states the benefits of exchanging knowledge, advice, and assistance among countries. Thus, she speaks knowledgeably about her coursework. Now, see the another character, Miss Phillips. Miss Phillips is a teacher at Greenslade School and is one of the three teachers to be chosen at random for the panel discussion on the day of the half yearly report. As she takes her place on the panel, the narrator describes her as a mousy, thin woman who appears to be, unintelligent. However, as the questioning begins, it becomes clear to the narrator and the reader that Miss Phillips is the best informed of three. Despite being unprepared, she handles the questions with honesty and authority, leaving the narrator and the reader impressed. She even comes to know the rescue of the other teachers when she finds them struggling with the questions, and does so with grace and skill, making sure to not cause them any embarrassment. She is unfazed by Denham and Furman's blunt criticisms and maintains a calm demeanor. Matching Dunham's aggressive nature with her clever arguments and sweet tone, her interaction with Denham leaves the students impressed with her tough but honest nature and establishes her authority as a teacher. This also completely transforms her image in the eyes of the narrator, who by the end of the extract develops a sense of admiration and respect for Miss Phillips. Now there is another question. Compare the following characters. So basically there are four activity. There are four questions that we have to do. Two different characters will be there, and we have to compare them. Okay. So we'll start with Miss Joseph and Denham. So Miss Joseph was in charge of the Students' Council and program and delivers a short address highlighting the council's purpose and its activities. So at the same time, in charge of the Students' Council program and assigned the task of calling out the names of the students, representatives of the senior class, and displays genuine courtesy while addressing them. And then Miss Joseph was representative of the subject of domestic science, and Denham was representative of the subject of PT and games. And then Ms. Joseph speaks about the theme of the interdependence of mankind, which was at the root of all their lessons. And Denham talks about, criticizes the patterns of PT and games, citing the limitations of obtaining space, the monotony of the routine, and the scarcity of time allocated to it. Then Ms. Joseph qualities highlighted: leadership skills, calm and insightful. And what are the qualities of Denham have been given? The He was highlighted as leadership skills, courteous and assertive, blunt. Okay. Now moving towards the Furman and Miss Dale. Now what were the differentiations, or whatever the different characteristics of these two characters? So Furman was the representative of the subject of physiology, who brings comic relief by displaying a skeleton hanging from a hook, screwed to his skull and gently revolving at the end of a cord on the stage, and whose report is highly appreciated for its dramatic style. Okay, so at the same time, Miss Dare, a representative of the subject of physiology, who presents after Fernman, whose report is plain, straightforward, and lacking in dramatic elements, thus making it anticlimactic in comparison with Furman report. Then Furman speaks in a clear and precise manner and concludes with the help of the skeleton that essentially all people were the same. Speaks about the problems of sickness and disease faced by humanity and benefits of exchanging knowledge and advice, assistance. Now, Furman, the qualities of the Furman: captivating, persuasive, confident, innovative, charming, clever. And Miss Dare was empathetic, smart, unenergetic, and passive. Now moving towards the two other characters, Miss Phillips and Denham. So Miss Phillips was bluntly criticizes the pattern of PT and games, citing the limitations of obtained space and monotony of the routine. Then Denham was tactfully answers all the questions posed by the students and even assist other panelists. And Miss Phillips exhibits impulsiveness, bluntness, and aggression in his debate with Miss Phillips, but feels sorry when he has lost the argument. And so the Denham tackles the students' questions with honesty, authority, skill, and calm and composed attitude, and eventually outwits Denham with logic, presence of mind, impressing the students and the narrator. Now, Miss Phillips represents a student's perspective and demonstrates that students should be active participants in their academic progress by fearlessly questioning an authoritative figure. And Denham represents a teacher's perspective and demonstrates the teachers must respect the perspective of all students and tackle their doubts with the patience and logic. Now, the narrator and head of the school. So, seated in the audience, a passive participant in the event. And the head of the school was seated on the stage at the beginning, an active participant in the event. Now, narrator silently observe as the event unfolds, and the head of the school was reiterates the aims and policies of the school, the contribution that could be made by each student in fulfilling those aims, and praises the students while insisting that there was yet a great deal to be done. Now, narrator was an outsider who eventually built a place for himself in the school and in the minds of the students. And head of the school has never been an outsider as he identifies himself with the school and everyone in it. Now, narrator feels proud to see the transformation that his students have undergone, and the head of the school feels proud of all the students and expresses his appreciations of the efforts put in by them. Now, the narrator qualities have been highlighted: observant, insightful, pleased, and surprised. And now, the head of the school, he was genuine, appreciative, understanding. So, I hope you must have understood what I've explained. Now, in the another lecture, upcoming lecture, we will be discussing about the different aspects of the activities like plot, theme, and the other activities we will be discussing later in the upcoming lecture. So, thank you.